You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Welcome back to part 2 of the Cabral HouseCalls. This is where we are doing each and every weekend our community-based questions. So we're literally diving into all the questions that have come in from the past couple months. We go in order of which they were received. So we're right now in early to mid-November, and we are literally moving right through every single question coming in from all over the world, many of them asking about what lab should I do? What protocol should I do? My doctor said this. What do you think? And so I'm happy to be able to provide my experience and any expertise I might have in some area that I believe could benefit you. So, it's really a humbling experience for people to write in and me be able to just try to give you the benefit of hindsight, right? That's what we're all looking for. Is one of the reasons why I hire a coach. And for anything new that I'm looking to do, say, listen, you've already done this for 20 years. I haven't. I will never be able to really catch up to where you are. What could you teach me about this so that I don't make as many mistakes, right? That's what it's all about. So with us having completed somewhere now close to 300,000 client appointments, I just want to share some of what we see successful every day in our practice. And so excited to be able to do that. I think let's dive right into the first questions and we'll take it from there. Okay. First question's from Sue. Sue's asking, hi, Mr. Cabral. I'm in Australia. I'm 64. Love your podcast. Had a gastric sleeve for 4 years and my hair loss is huge. I've gone from long hair to short, but I'm losing more than I'm growing all the time. So basically losing more hair than growing. I'm always exhausted. I suppose it's my age, but I can't eat all the food that you talk about. I've lost weight and it was great, but the hair loss isn't. I've tried keto and actually put weight on, which I'm struggling to get rid of. I need your help, please. Thank you, Sue. Sue, great questions. So here's a couple things that we want to talk about. I worry just about your absorption right now. And I also worry about your levels of stress because it seems that you're in more of a catabolic-based state. That means your body's breaking down more protein, right, than it's able to rebuild back up. So we really need to use the de-stress protocol from my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. We need to work on all facets. Calming the central nervous system, making sure we get you good sleep. We'll do a detox. But I would love to see if my theory is correct. A hair tissue mineral analysis will let you know if you're depleted of minerals. And you need that to build up your hair, right? Really strong, healthy hair, vibrant hair takes minerals. And that, obviously they're good for your bones as well. Then I want to run an organic acids test. This is called our starter kit. The reason I want to run that is to look at your gut permeability, or I should say at least candida overgrowth and C. diff. And I want to look at your vitamin levels. I'm worried right now that you might be on the lower side. If you can afford to do one more lab, I would do the thyroid adrenal hormone. And the reason for that is that you may be trending towards low thyroid and higher cortisol. I'd love to be able to see those numbers and see if my theories are correct. Now, of course, if you can do the big 5, add on the food sensitivity, add on the omega-3, that would be phenomenal. But in order of importance, that's where I would put you. So, Sue, hopefully that helps get you started. Ed's up next. Hi, I'm looking to get 3 labs, but I want to just check a few things before purchasing as I'm from Australia. I want the organic acids test, the stool test, and the food sensitivity test. Will this take a long time with customs and how much more money for shipping, tariff, customs costs? Thanks, Ed. So, Ed, yeah, we are breaking new ground. No one is doing what we're doing. There's not a company in the world that is shipping labs to Australia because it is an intense process for our team. And that's why I thank my team every day. So here's the thing. We get it there now in 4 days. That is as fast as you can ship to Australia. I think that's pretty good from the US. What happens then is customs typically holds it for about 4 to 8 days. We are now working with a consulting firm in Australia. This is how dedicated we are. I mean, this is the truth. We've hired a consulting firm. It costs us a lot of money. They're creating what are called harmonization codes. Those codes then will be government-based codes that will hopefully get it in and out of customs within just a couple days. So you should be able to get your product now within a week. Okay, so that's pretty amazing. In terms of shipping, the shipping isn't that expensive. I mean, it really isn't. It's all done by weight. And we pass on exactly whatever we're charged. We don't charge you a cent more. That's the truth. We don't charge you any more. It's real-time shipping. You put it in, it knows your address, and then it also knows the weight of the object. And that's it. And then that's just what the shipping costs. So I don't know how much it costs. I mean, I can't quote you, of course, because I don't know. It's not very expensive for shipping. It's really not. Customs cost, I can't give you a great answer on that. I really can't, because I don't know what customs costs will be. Could be a couple $100 for expensive lab tests as part of it. Could be. I can't give you that answer. That's that. So you chose 3 great tests. Anybody with gut-based issues, acid reflux, GERD, heartburn, IBS, Crohn's, colitis, bloating, loose stool, diarrhea, constipation, the organic acid test, stool test, food sensitivity test in that order is the way to go. Hopefully, Ed, that helps you a little bit, gives you a little bit of insight. We're always moving forward. We're always working with Australia and the Australian government. And one day, not any day soon, probably a year from now, we'll have a fulfillment center. It won't be for every product, but it will probably be for maybe our top 15 or so products in Australia. So then it'll be straightforward. But again, that's a year away. That's probably 2020, because these things just don't happen overnight. All right. Virginia is up next. Hi, I have a 2-year-old who has trouble digesting raw veggies, some fruits, definitely anything with tough skin, resulting in 20 months of next to no sleep for our family until we started working things out. I've almost finished a Rainbow Barrel Effect, and I'm about to purchase the Daily Nutritional Support, Daily Fruit and Vegetable Blend, and the Daily Digestive Enzyme. I'm wondering, however, how I might get the enzyme to my 2-year-old prior to food, mixed in with a little bit of water, or maybe our homemade almond milk. Do you know of any successful approaches? Thanks, Virginia. Virginia, great questions. So for a 2-year-old, you're basically using a half a scoop, that's it, maximum, a half a scoop of Daily Nutritional Support. You're using 1 teaspoon maximum of the Daily Fruit and Vegetable Blend. And then you're using a quarter to a half a cup of the Daily Digestive Enzyme. We have a lot of people mix the enzyme right into food. It's a little bitter because enzymes are bitter. And they also mix it into a little bit of applesauce or some sweet potato with some cinnamon or some ghee. So there are other ways that you can just mix it right in there. It's not a problem. Could you put it in water? Sure. I just don't know if they would drink it, but you absolutely can. And of course, if you needed to use a little bit of juice, not a huge advocate of fruit juice, but you might use a little bit of cranberry, which is, again, lower glycemic, has a lot of great properties to it. So hopefully that helps. And then in terms of the digestive issues, it simply could just be very young digesting raw veggies. Might want to stick with more of the fruits and squashes and blended right now, or run an organic acids test to see what's going on with that gut. Maybe even a stool test as well to look for H. pylori. Deborah's up next. Hello, love your podcast. I'm on a mission to listen to everyone. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's 11 years ago. I didn't know at the time, but running a complete panel on myself last year, I discovered it was actually Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I've been put on a synthetic per protocol, conventional medicine at my diagnosis. Since then, I've been trying to heal my thyroid, paying attention to vitamins and minerals, organic, healthy foods, gluten, dairy-free. And I was successful at bringing my TSH down and antibodies lower while not medicating. Is there anything I might have missed to help my condition? I did change my medication to Nature Thyroid. Thoughts on this as well? Thanks for your time. All right, so we have no problem with Nature Thyroid, but we don't plan to have people use it long term. We just get people's thyroid healing again. I've done so many shows on the thyroid. So many shows on the thyroid. Let me give you, I can just name them, literally the 4 toxins that affect your thyroid, the 2 minerals that your thyroid needs, how your adrenals affect the thyroid. That's a big one. I just did one where I wish the audio was so much better, but anyway, this is what it is. That is on 1083. So Deborah, I think that will give you literally everything that you need to know. It's at stephencabral.com/1083. We recommend running the thyroid adrenal hormone panel, and one of our health coaches we'll take you through my recommendations. Do keep in mind, I read every single lab that comes through equilibriumnutrition.com. I provide my recommendations, and our amazing health coaching team takes you through those. And I appreciate you going back and checking out those previous podcasts. All right. Ursula is up next. Dear Dr. Ball and team, I heard from you over a close friend. I've been facing health difficulties over the past 5 years. No doctor in Germany or Austria was able to help me until now. I gave birth to a little girl 1.5 years ago, and it got worse. I spent a lot of times in clinics. No one could find out what was going on other than unstable flora in my gut. React very poorly to antibiotics. Okay, I'm willing to give it another try. I've been on, and I react badly to a lot of supplements. All right, I can help you with this. So everyone can tune in. They can go to stephencabral.com/1094 for today's questions. And if they're a longer question, I just post them there. So what Ursula is looking for this. She has issues with her gut. She doesn't do very well with antibiotics because it most likely creates more candida overgrowth and creates some antibiotic-related diarrhea or loose stool. She most likely has some type of SIBO. She doesn't do well right now with a lot of supplements and a lot of herbal supplements as well. Here's why. So anybody who's suffering from this, here's why. Because I used to not be able to, so I understand why. When you don't do well, we know what's going on with the gut. There's candida overgrowth and there's SIBO most likely. There might even be H. pylori. How do we know? Run the organic acids test, run the stool test. We ship it to Germany. You'll find out. You'll know within a month, okay? So that's that. If you want to prove it, you're good. If you want to find a doctor there to do it, that's great too. We have no problem with that. Here's what happens though. We then use a candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol, and it works great. The problem is, if you have so much candida and so much bacterial overgrowth and you start to kill it, well, there could be what? There could be a Herxheimer reaction. You could get brain fog. You could get lethargy. You could get skin rashes. You could look worse before you're better. Part of that is because the liver is not ready to be able to take on those onslaught of toxins that you've basically helped to kill off. So that is why my highest recommendation for people is to, here, I'm going to teach this in the future. I don't want to steal my own thunder right now. So stay tuned for a future podcast. But what we recommend, if you can do this, run the lab tests. Anyone out there, if you're able to, this is just ideal world. I know it's ideal world. I understand that. Then do a 21-day detox. Get the liver decongested. Clean out the toxins. Get it ready for new ones once you start a die-off-based protocol. If you want to get rid of candida and you want to get rid of bacterial overgrowth, there's no other way to do it but then to remove it. There's physically no other way. You have to get it out of your body. So in your case, we would do a 21-day detox, gently, right? Gently, just 3 supplements. That's all it is. Then we're doing the candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol. But instead of you using 2 caps, which a lot of them are, you're only using 1 cap. That's it. You're going to go into it slowly. That's all you're going to do, gently. We know you need to do it, but we're going to do it gently. And then from there, we'll ramp up then to the 2 caps. Might it then take more than the 12 weeks? Of course. Is it okay to get better in 5 or 6 months rather than 12 weeks? Of course. Of course. Why not, right? In the grand scheme of things, it's a small amount of time to get back your health. That's what I recommend. And again, not overdoing the supplements, using what you need, and then your body will get stronger. You'll do an intestinal cleanse maybe once a month to get rid of that die-off. This might be the time that you choose to do coffee enemas or colonic or something like that, just to get rid of some of the die-off, right? We don't preach those forever, but there's a time and place, and that would be fine. So there is a way to get better, and you can absolutely do it, and you can do a little bit of saunas and some walking and get the lymphatic system going with some rebounding. I really teach all of this, to be honest, in the Rain Barrel Effect. So if you haven't read that book yet, it's like $10. That's it, $9.95, and I think we ship it all over the world, and it's just a great way to teach you the entire process, but in depth, right? More than a podcast could do. Ursula, I hope you'll do well. I know you'll do well. Keep on keeping on. Bethany's up next. Hello, doctor. I've been seeing an ENT for 4 years now regarding a couple issues that remain unsolved. First one back in 2014, I had swollen lymph nodes on the side of my neck. One had a 3-inch node underneath my muscle, 5 smaller, harder ones, biopsy done. Everything came back negative. They left the 3-inch one because it was hard to access, but they did a biopsy. Everything was okay until about a year and a half ago. I had a separate issue with my right ear. After eating certain foods, I could hear my blood pressure pulse through my ear, only on the right side. They tested, which came back good. Did another CT. Everything came back good and fine with my right ear. My doctor says everything is fine. He says, when I'm eating more salt because I'm not really sure because it's hard to narrow it down. It does concern me. There we go. I eat pretty healthy, work out 2 to 3 days a week, try some rebounding lymphatic drainage. I do have a lot of environmental allergies, including dogs and cats. Any recommendations? I do. Absolutely do. So I want to look at this as more of a cytokine, histamine, inflammatory issue from food sensitivities from what's called both an IgE, which are immediate sensitivities within a half hour to 2 hours of eating, and then also an IgG, which is a latent response, can be a day, 2, 3 days later. So I would love for you to do 3 labs. I'll put them in order of importance. Organic acids test, stool test, food sensitivity test. That's what I would do. We want to look at why the allergies, right? Why the sensitivity? Why this lymphatic congestion? One of the easiest ways to congest your lymph is this. When someone has intestinal permeability, it means they're able to leak larger protein, bacteria, or other molecules through the gut wall. These are not normal objects that should be then brought into your bloodstream to be circulated through the body. They're then brought to your liver by the lymphatic system. It's called your gut-associated lymphoid tissue, your GALT. And then that can congest the liver, which could create more allergies, more inflammation from immune-based response. That's what I would do, Bethany. That's the place to start. Seems like you're on the right track for sure. If you can't afford the labs, totally get it, understand. Let's go into the Candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol with the citracidal drops just to be safe. We'll do our daily foundational protocol in the morning, or at least do the daily nutritional support shake. That'll be a great start. Okay, Kylie's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you so much for all the info you share. I was just wondering your suggestions for lunch options if wanting to gain weight, as I am mainly Vata. I spend a lot of time stressing over food as I don't have time to cook something in the morning before I leave. So I was just wondering what your suggestions, as I know it's not great to be reheating food. I have just finished your CBO protocol also. Thanks for your response. Okay, yeah, we can take care of this. Couple things. A Vata-based lunch is not going to be heavy in protein. A Pitta-based lunch will have more protein. A Vata-based lunch will be more of what? Good, healthy starches. Sweet potatoes, root vegetables, something grounding, something heavy to calm the Vata mind, which can be quite anxious in the afternoon, and start to look for what? Sugar, candy, soft drinks, beverages that contain sugar, right? To get that Vata going, and also to calm anxiety. An example of a good lunch, you could do your cooked broccoli like I do. For the most part, a Vata style lunch, I do a lot of times sweet potatoes or yams. I'll do broccoli and cauliflower cooked, and I'll do olive oil or avocado. And then I will do sweet potatoes. And the sweet potatoes will be my calming Vata-based food. Since the broccoli is cooked, the cauliflower is cooked, then it's going to be easier on the Vata. If they were raw, that would be not a good choice for Vata. And then I typically add hemp hearts at lunch for my protein. I try to do a vegan-based lunch. And that's that. So it could be a great lunch right there for you. Hemp hearts are much more Vata-friendly than beans or chickpeas or legumes because they are less gas or air-based creating. They're already sprouted, easier to digest. And then in terms of a warming food, one of the things that's really nice, I don't own stock in this company, but Yeti, Y-E-T-I, and other brands, they make thermoses that if you put your food in there and it's warm in the morning, it's pretty much going to be warm or a little warmer than room temperature by the time you eat it at lunch. They're pretty amazing. So just check out a really good thermos, and you might just bring maybe you have like a bamboo type plate or something like that, and just put everything on a plate if you want, or just eat it out of your thermoses, and that would work fine too. So really easy ways to do it. You can just chop everything up, do it in cubes, and you've got your broccoli, you've got cauliflower, you've got some sweet potatoes. But you'll find foods that eventually work great for your Vata type. But those are nice grounding foods right there, especially obviously the sweet potato. All right, let's do one more. Dara's up next. Hey, Dr. Cabral, great show. Taught me so much. I read your book and observed your recommendations with regards to sunscreen. I'm a person of African and Portuguese descent with lighter complexion. With regards to getting sunlight for vitamin D, I was wondering how I should go about it for aesthetic purposes to avoid fine lines, wrinkles. Are there any technique supplements that one can use, or should you forget that and focus on getting sunlight despite the potential cons? Keep up the good work. Thank you, Dara. This is a great question. So no doubt about it, I am not going to deny that the more sun you get, the more potential wrinkling that you might get. crow's feet, all of that, right? So I've decided in my life, I'm not going to overdo the sun, but I am absolutely going to get a tan. I'm not going to bake in the sun. I don't think that's healthy either. I'm not going to let the back of my neck get red like it could. I have many different nationalities, like literally like 10 nationalities. But if you look at me, you'd probably say, oh, he's probably more Portuguese and Italian. And so that's essentially what I tell people, right? But I have a lot of different nationalities. So I don't really need sunscreen as long as I don't, in February, head down to Mexico and lie out for 3 or 4 hours that day, right? Like that's just not smart. So if you wear sunscreen, you're not going to get vitamin D because you're not allowing yourself to get a tan. Like just because it's summer, you don't get vitamin D. And Dara, I know you're not asking this, but a lot of people think that. So you need to test your vitamin D. You can do a straight vitamin D test. You can hopefully ask your doctor. A lot of doctors don't run it, but I have no idea why. But you can run it on your own too, just at obviously equilibriumnutrition.com. Couple things. One, you decide to say, listen, when I'm in my later 50s and 60s and I start getting some wrinkles and lines, might say like, hey, like that's part of life. But there's a lot of great things that you can do too. So I'm a big believer in getting natural sunlight. So I can't say not to do it. That's my opinion. Okay. You might say it's more important to me that I don't get lines. I understand. I'm a health-based person. I'm doing this from a health perspective. Yes, you can use vitamin D. I use vitamin D for 8 months of the year, right? And only then, June, July, August, September, do I get enough sun on a regular basis to have my vitamin D levels naturally raised, right? The rest of the time, I'm supplementing with vitamin D. Easy. 2 drops, 4 drops, whatever you need. Simple. Okay. And then I'm saying, yeah, sure, like it's going to lead to more wrinkling. Like I'm going to start to see some crow's feet. And yeah, there's a little bit there. So I'm like, I'm okay with that. But here's what else I do though. I use omega-3s. I eat wild fish. And in those things, I'm getting astaxanthin. Now, you can take astaxanthin on its own or additional krill oil in addition to the omega-3 support because the krill oil will not raise your omega-3 levels high enough. And I know that from clinical practice. I used to believe that it did. I was like, yeah, let's just do krill. The problem is it doesn't raise omega-3 levels high enough. But you get the benefits conferred of the astaxanthin, which is a very powerful antioxidant that helps to prevent not only wrinkles, but sunburn. That's why the more omega-3s a person has, getting it from wild fish, getting it from those wild salmon and trout, etc., you're going to have less chance of sun-based damage. So keep the good antioxidants up. Eat your fruit, drink your smoothies, eat your veggies, and you'll have less of those potential issues. So that's my opinion. That's where I stand. We were given the sun. If we have a lighter complexion, we should not burn. That is the issue with the sun. I don't believe in sun burning. I believe in getting a tan. There's a huge, huge difference. So thanks everyone for writing in. Great questions as always. Truly appreciate our community. Thank you so much for the reviews. Thank you so much for the shares. Really do mean a lot to me, really, each and every one of them. And be sure to tune in tomorrow for our Motivation and Mindset Monday. We're going to start the week off right. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.